Oh my God, it tastes like. All right. So it's been a while since I made an update. And there's a reason why, because life got busy, as it does when you have 3 kids and you're doing everything you can to stay afloat when it comes to all of their appointments and everything they get into. So now that summer's coming along, get a little bit more time to start working on this. And so I decided that I was going to try to get the cage finished up here, because that's kind of what I need to get done here before this car gets painted and get the interior to finish. So I'll let you know what I got going on here. So the cage is fabbed up. Everything is done, other than I do want to add a couple braces on the main hoop, and then a tube coming up higher, just so I can mount. I'd like to mount like a fire extinguisher in this car. It's always nice to have, especially when you have a race car. I feel like people that don't put one in their car, they always regret it, because I mean, a fire can happen at any time, and you could, dot your I's, cross your T's all you want. Anything can happen, and a fire is not something you definitely don't want to happen, especially in a fiberglass car. I don't know if any of you guys know, but fiberglass is very flammable. Once it starts on fire, it likes to take off. So I've seen a few of these Corvettes that do that, and I'm like, I don't want to be that. I'd want to, I could put a fire suppression system in the car, but it's also nice to have 1 or 2 in the car. So what I want to do is I want to put like cross bracing, just in that corner to come down, this corner to come down, and then just put like a brace across, and then you have a mounting point. And you can put stuff there too if you want to put like, like hanging bag tools or something like that, especially when you're doing like drag week, race week, any kind of drag and drive event. It's nice to have something that you can mount it to. So I'm going to go over what I've done here on the cage. It's just tacked in right now, other than 2 of the bars that I had to fully weld, because you can't weld them. What's in here basically is impossible. So I have those welded, and then everything else here I can weld in the car. So I'll kind of go over it. The top's on right now just because it's been laying here on the side and I'm trying to get it out of the way. So everything is here. The door bars are just one big piece right now. They need to come up about 1 inch. Basically they need to do like this thing, come up about 1 inch, and then they will get cut there and there on both sides. And then I will put in a swing out bar kit. And when I mean swing out bar, it's not an actual swing out bar. It's just a removable kit, whatever. I forgot what they're actually called. But it's just so the bars can be completely removed. And then when you're doing an event, you can put the bars completely in. They don't swing out the door. It's either they're in or they're out. So that's what I need to do, but they're in there right now. And then once I get that kit, I can basically tack weld where that needs to go. I'll make my cut, and then I'll put the pieces, or I'll put the attachments in on each end, the driver and the passenger side. And then that way, because the door bars are going to be out of the car 90–95% of the time. The only time they're going to be in there is when I'm actually have to have them in to make a run. Otherwise, going to town, driving around, doing all that stuff, they're going to be completely out of the car. They're completely useless, and they're a pain in the butt to get in, because as you can see, you got to get into the, like down into the car. So having them out of the car as a daily driver, or going from one A to B, it's just in there for when you actually have to make your run. So the cage is set up where the window bars come right down to the dash bar, and then they go down to the frame. The only reason that is because I tried to get it as tight as possible. As you can see, it's pretty tight to the pillar. And I could have bent that out this way, but all I have is that right there. It's the affordable bender. It works good for what it is, but it's really hard to make anything that's, a couple bends in a single radius, where you need to, come down, come right, left, whatever it may be. So it does the job. It works well, and that's just the way it has set up. There's nothing illegal about this that I can figure out. I've seen a bunch of people run like this, especially like the older like Mopar cars. It seems like they do this. I don't know anything about Mopars, but every time I look up how these dash bars are made, it seems like they're in all the older 60s and 70s Mopar cars. So I don't know if that's just the way the cars are, but in this, it'll work great. Anybody that knows anything about C4 Corvettes, the stock door panels are on the outside of the frame anyways. So I'm putting in custom door panels myself, and they're actually going to be flat sheet metal door panels, so they will be completely away from this. And then the idea is I'm going to put a cap on here, weld a cap on, but like on each edge, see where like this section is here? I'm going to make a sheet metal spot here, and it's going to basically be riveted in or screwed in or whatever. And I think I might do some kind of design. I have a couple buddies that have plasma tables, CNC plasma tables, so we might cut like a design out of them, maybe do like LSX or do something. It'd be nice to just cut something out here and then have this completely open. So when you open the door, this is nice and cleaned up throughout here, and it just kind of flows the rest of the car. And then you obviously have your dash and stuff. And that's something else I'm trying to figure out too, is the dash. I'm going to attempt to put the stock dash back in this, but I'm really contemplating putting a fiberglass dash in this and just doing it that way, and then making my mounting tabs like partially on the car, partially on the roll cage, and then having that to where it just slides in, because I'm rewiring this car from scratch. The interior is going to be run off like an Arduino system, and it's going to have your turn signals, your headlights, all that stuff. Radio is going to be in there, and I'm just going to rewire it just for that. Even like the window motors are all going to be controlled by the Arduino or by just like relays and stuff. So I'm rewiring the entire inside the car myself. So that will be fun, but that's something I enjoy doing. So like I said, the door bar needs to come up, and then I'll cut it both sides. These are all tacked in too, and I can actually get to these fairly. I mean, it's nice. I was thinking about actually pulling this out. Sorry, thinking about pulling this out, but yeah, it's not going to be an issue getting a gun in there. The video I'm looking at my phone right now compared to what I'm looking in real life, RL, it's no problem getting a gun in there at all. I mean, it's hard to tell in the video, but it's like, yeah, it's hard to tell in the video, but there's not going to be an issue at all getting underneath there. Same on this side. So that is the update. I know there's not much that I did. I think the last one I did was like 3 or 4 months ago at least. But this has been a project. I am not a fab guy. I'm a perfectionist to an extent. So when I notice something that isn't straight or might cause an issue when it comes to like tech, I basically go, okay, this isn't going to pass. Just cut the thing out of the car. That's what I did. The last video I think I posted, that roll cage that's in there is nothing in there is the same as this car. I actually cut the cage completely out of the car. I cut it in half, pulled it out, and I started from scratch again. So this is all brand new. And so everything is ready to be tacked in, like I mentioned. So over the next few weeks, I'll worry about getting that welded. The windshield has to come out to get to this section. I got to cut that tab down here, but basically to get there, that, and then same up here to weld the windshield bar. But that's fine, because if you can see, the windshield is destroyed. So I will pull that out, I will get those welded, and then I will put a new windshield in. And then hopefully I can get this thing teched and get it marked, serial number, whatever the hell you call them, NHRA certified for 850. And then we'll keep building on the car. I got the Delfino right here that I'm still working on. This is actually the older version. I just came out with a new one that has the wideband built right on the board, but I'm still working on a few things. So this one is tried and true to works, and I'm still programming it, but I'll get that in the car. That way I can monitor AFR, and then I have my boost controller on there, and then I'm trying to get the gauges and all that stuff set up. So I do have to pull the power steering pump. That's why the belt is off. The power steering pump is shot. It's a used one. It worked fine for it was in the car to test it, and all of a sudden it just started wailing, and not when I mean wail, it's like the either one of the bushings on it is bad or something like that, but it just sounds like someone screaming, and it sounds terrible. It doesn't sound like a typical power steering pump going out, but when you remove it, it's quiet. So it's definitely that, and I'll put a new one in, and then we can get the belt back on. That way everything else is all happy there. And the only other thing I need to check on is I need to verify a couple things on the rear suspension, just to make sure everything's good to go there. It's all finished, but when I looked last time, I think there were 2 washers that were supposed to be on the dog bones on this side were missing. So I got to figure out where that happened to those. But that should just be easy. It's just popping the bolt out, putting those back on. Otherwise, I'll just order 2 new ones. And then the front suspension's got to be done. I have all the parts over there, shocks and brakes and rotors, brake pads, rotors. to do everything over here. And then the driver's side has a tie rod that is bent, and I have one of those too that I need to put in. That way the suspension is all done and ready to go. And then I need to get the brakes bled. They're all hooked up, and I am going to get all of the fittings to get rid of that stupid ABS block and get all that teed off. And then we should be able to bleed the car and have brakes. And then the other thing you need to do is, I should mention that, I don't know, not that anybody knows, but I am actually putting up another garage that is out there, a detached garage. I'm putting in a 2 stalls, a 26 by 24, excuse me. And I'm going to put a lift in there, and that's pretty much going to be happening at, it starts in July, excuse me. It starts in July, and I'm hoping to get the entire garage and stuff set up by September, October. And I'm going to have a lift in it, and hopefully we can get this car up on the lift, and we can get all of the under stuff done. And when I say under stuff done, I mean this side exhaust downpipe is not, I don't like how it's set up. When it heats up, there is a leak. When it's cold, it doesn't leak, but when it heats up, the metal expands and you can start to hear a leak. So it drives me nuts. So I'm going to redo that side. And then what hopefully we can get done by this fall is I want to get this car painted. If it didn't get painted this fall, I would like to get it painted by spring of next year, because next year is when I'm going to hopefully have this car done. Not completely done, but like driving done. I have all of the carpet. I have the seats. I need to order lap belts, and I need to get the steering stuff set up. I know what I'm getting for that, so I just need to get it ordered is just the issue. And then I can get that in there. And then I want to box in the shifter, because I'm not actually going to put the console back in here. I'm just going to cover this and carpet it. And then I want to box it up so it's clean. And then it'll just be just all carpeted through here. There won't actually be a center console like they come in these cars. Excuse me, man. So there's a lot to do yet. Like I said, hopefully I have one more year to get this thing done. I think we'll be able to get it done. Paint's going to be fun. We'll figure that out when it gets there. But yeah, the plan right now is to get the windshield out of the car, get everything situated, get everything set up, cut door bars, get the I think they're still called swing out kit. It's still called like a swing out kit, even though it doesn't swing out, it just removes. Get that installed, get the whole entire cage welded, get it certified, get it painted, get the rest of the front suspension done, work on the little small stuff, power steering pump, get the Delfino in there, get the gauges going with it, and then work on the little things here and there. But this is what's been keeping me from moving on. This has been the worst part of this car, in my opinion, is the cage. It's all new realm for me. I've never done this before. I've had some great help from some friends, especially Reaper. Thank you. And we can get this. If we can get this done, then I can start moving on start moving faster on with the car again. So that's the plan. All the lights are going LED too, and get rid of all the incandescent stuff. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. That's the update. I think at some point the El Camino is going to come back this summer, work on the little stuff, and then that should be done until we decide to put like a 480 in it and do some stupid stuff. So that's the update. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye.